All right, let's check our homework on generalizing to the population of interest. So for our AP statistics, that's on day 4. I think it's day 5 or day 6 on the regular statistics, but they are the same questions. So here we go. All right. So this first one talked about wanting to study the kinds of fish taken out of Saginaw Bay. So that's the population, all the kinds of fish taken out of the Saginaw Bay. Okay. And what happened was, since they selected five fishing boats at the end of a randomly chosen fishing day, and then they did all the fish. So, hey, cluster, you're a group. I will sample all of you. Hey, cluster. Now you can pick just one cluster or several clusters. And so in this case, they collected 5 clusters. Okay, so they're expecting each of those boats to be a mini population. So cluster sampling, picked 5 clusters and they sampled all. And that very well could be under coverage. Okay, and why would that be under coverage? Several reasons. Number one, you know, are there different kinds of boats like the shrimp boats and the lobster boats and the crab boats and the oyster boats I don't know, okay? But I feel pretty confident that, each boat is not a mini population, okay? Furthermore, they said they're taking 5 fishing boats from one day of the whole entire year. I'm not a fisherman, so maybe Coach McCone could help me with this, but I really think that just one day of the year is not going to be representative of the year. I mean, I would imagine different weather has different kinds of fish or success rates or whatever. Okay. All right. So it says if there is bias, to what population do you think that they could do that? Well, maybe the types of fish taken out of the bay that day or that season. Okay. Plus, I still think the making sure you got all the kinds of boats. I don't know. All right. Here is another option. Here's the way I thought. Maybe stratify by week of the year. So you go 52 different weeks and then randomly select a day out of those 55. Or maybe you could pick every 10th boat coming out of those samples of those days, and so on and so forth. All right. So there is the answers for that problem. I'm going to wait until after the boogie bells are done before I go on to the next one here. All right, number 2 of this generalizing to the population assignment. So here we go. We're talking about Bearcat Park, and the managers want to survey Alito residences who have school-aged children, or I had written in on your paper, I think, children aged 5, K to 5. Okay, yeah, so I added that, K to 5 school-aged children. Okay, to believe that the playground needs to be rebuilt. On the 5th day of every month, in 2020. They picked the first 5 parents after 4 p.m. and survey those parents. After the subjects have completed the survey, the managers pick the survey back up. So they tried not to have a response bias in that regard. By not interviewing them, they filled out a survey and they didn't hover and stand right there while they submitted that survey. Okay, so that was an attempt at not having response bias. But here we go. Who do they want to generalize to? What population? And that would be all Alito residences with children in ages 5, K through 5. Okay, since I had added that into the assignment. All right, the sampling method. So this is the problem, is that they wanted to ask and generalize to all Alito residences with the school-aged children. But the ones they asked are the ones who are at the park. Okay? So that's similar to the problem in our notes that we were asking all the adults in the city about their opinions on the bar, and we were asking people coming out of a bar or asking them about drinking. Well, this is similar. We want to generalize to all Aledo residences about Bearcat Park, but we're asking people at Bearcat Park. Okay? So think about that. If they're at Bearcat Park, then they obviously are okay enough with it at least to go to Bearcat Park, so they may not think it needs repair. Okay? It could be that the people that think it needs repair aren't going to Bearcat Park because they're like, that is dangerous. I'm not bringing my child there. Okay? All right. So that would be convenience sampling. Okay. Now they did attempt to do this stratify by month and all of that other kind of stuff that they were going into because I tried to come up with something there. But overall, it's a problem. Convenience sampling. And because that will lead to undercoverage because we want to generalize to all Alito residents, but we're just getting the ones that are already going to the park. All right. To what population then do we have the right to generalize? And so that would be Alito parents who already regularly take their children to the park. All right, so create a new sampling method. So here was what I came up with. Maybe survey 10 randomly selected children from every grade level at all the AISD elementary schools. Okay. And then you would go through the survey and you'd have to follow up to make sure you got those and that kind of thing. But that at least gets a good sampling of all of Alito parents of school-aged children. All right. That's it for generalizing to the population.